Hi guys, another little video. I've been getting a lot of comments from folks about why was I disfellowshipped. A lot of people don't believe that I was disfellowshipped because I questioned doctrine. I have lots of people saying you must have committed fornication or you did something bad. You must have did something bad to be kicked out of the organization or to get disfellowshipped. That's not it. I got disfellowshipped because I questioned doctrine. So I'm going to just cover just a couple of things so you can kind of do your own research to kind of show you where I've been. How it first started for me was I was trying to understand the 607 BCE 1914 timeline. That was critical because, again, if I'm going to go door to door trying to explain to people this doctrine, I needed to understand it myself. So I pored over jw.org, going through all the scriptures, and it didn't make any sense to me. So I started researching online, and I discovered that Jehovah's Witnesses are the only people who believe that the fall of Jerusalem happened in 607 BCE. All the historians, scholars, experts, different story. Let me just read this. I just quickly looked it up. 607 BCE or 587 BC is what most people of the world believe. 587, not 607. Jerusalem fell in 587 BC, as stated in virtually all encyclopedias and supported by vast volumes of historical evidence. Watchtower claims 587 BC is wrong, and Jerusalem was destroyed in 607 BCE. This is highly significant for Jehovah's Witnesses, as if Jerusalem was not destroyed in 607 BC, then Jesus' rulership did not commence in 1914, nor was the Watchtower chosen in 1919. So it's super, super important that that date, 607 BCE, stands, because if that 607 BCE is disputed, the doctrine is over. And that's what they base the timelines on, 607 BC, and it never made sense to me. So research that. Another thing that once I started researching, I found out about Beth Seren. I had never heard of Beth Seren. I was in the organization, again, like I said, born in. So when someone told me about Beth Seren, I said, that's ridiculous. Nah. Turns out that Rutherford got a message from God that the princes were coming. Abraham, Isaac, and I think Jacob were being resurrected, and they had to build a presentable, appropriate home for this royalty that was being resurrected. So Rutherford purchased this property, I think in San Diego. I'm not real sure, but look it up, Beth Seren, and you should find out exactly where it is. They had this they bought this beautiful property, beautifully manicured mansion, ready for the prince's resurrection. Didn't get resurrected. So what did Rutherford do? What he decided to do is move into it. Why waste it? And, maybe, I don't know, I'm just surmising, maybe they're delayed or something and they'll get there. But in the meantime, he moved in this beautiful mansion for the princess. And this mansion was purchased with money from who? Rank and file Jehovah's Witnesses. Did you guys know that? Another thing I found out is the organization puts all these, you can't work maybe in a gun store, or you can't be a police officer, or you can't work like in an adult store or something like that. Turns out, if you look up their stocks that they own on their Internal Revenue Service report, I don't know what you call that stuff, but there's a way that you can look it up, and it shows you all the stocks that were purchased, or not purchased, but that the organization owns. And when I went and started looking, there were things with Boeing. There's another one, Lockheed Martin, I think it was. They build warplanes and warheads. Soft porn companies, cigarette companies, stocks is what I mean. I think I said soft porn already. Just things, questionable things that rank and file Jehovah's Witnesses would, you can't do that. But the organization owns these stocks. Another thing I found out, back when I was a little girl, or, earlier on, congregations would pool their monies together, and they would purchase land, build kingdom halls, and they own their kingdom halls. All of a sudden, the society decided that they will take ownership of all of the congregations, all of them. So all the congregations that scratched up their money to build these kingdom halls and buy these properties, they had to sign it over to the governing body so they can have more control of things and know what things were, how things were, and if the kingdom halls needed repairs, they would handle all of that. I understand some kingdom halls did get funding to do that, but other kingdom halls didn't. And when they complained, they weren't being very Christian and not trusting in Jehovah's organization. Then, too, another thing I found out is about the Australian Royal Commission. There's a young lady, Candace Conti, I think her name is, in California. I think she was one of the first ones that filed a major lawsuit against the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society because of sexual abuse in the congregation. I understand this young woman went repeatedly to the elders trying to get help. And because she didn't have a second person, the whole two-witness rule, look that up too, the two-witness rule. If your child goes to the Kingdom Hall or out in field service or at some function and someone in the congregation fondles them or rapes them or does something to these children, if two people didn't see it happen, it didn't happen. You guys would be appalled at how many children have been molested and nothing is done about it. The witnesses are discouraged from calling the authorities. They want to handle it internally, as not to bring reproach on Jehovah's organization. So what happens is these pedophiles, they probably will be called on the carpet by the rest of the elders. And most of the time, that person moves on to a different congregation. Nothing is said. Most of the time. Now, there may be some instances where an elder's conscience may say, I need to let this other congregation know. There are some people like that in the organization that get it, that realize this policy is wrong, and they try and do it. But if they're caught, they'll be in trouble because they've gone against what the society says to do. And what I've heard, I haven't seen this myself in the elders book, but I've heard other witnesses that have gotten their hands on the elders book of protocols and procedures of what to do in certain situations. And for a sexual abuse, a case like that, the elders are to not call the authorities. They are to call the legal department of headquarters first. That's against the law. We are all mandated reporters. And if a child comes to us and said, I am being abused, a phone call needs to be made by you. Not a call to them. So is the Candace Conti in California, and I understand there's hundreds more of people who were abused that are filing lawsuits. The Australian Royal Commission. Did you guys know about that? A lawsuit. Again, because the two-witness rule and the just horrible, prevalent child molestation that's happening in kingdom halls all over the world. And Jeffrey Jackson, I think his name is, he lied. He lied under oath on camera. Look it up and watch your anointed, your direct channel from Jehovah lie under oath. There's lots more. Just research. Don't be afraid. And I say that, but it took me years to finally get the courage to look. Do I regret looking? Nope. Was it scary looking? Yep. Because I realized that everything that I had been taught about Jehovah's organization was a lie. But then the more I delved into that rabbit hole, it was like, what else can Monica find? What else can I find out? And I started digging and digging and turning over rocks and looking in this corner. And things I would have never looked into, I looked into. And what I discovered is not only have Jehovah's Witnesses been horribly misled, but all of mankind has been misled. And I know I started this channel to share my experience of awakening from the whole Jehovah's Witness thing. But waking up from that woke me up to a whole lot more. Mankind has been horribly misled. And I keep saying this to you guys too. Anybody in any type of organized religion, look again. Look again. Because there are some things in the Bible, guys. Once you really research it and start dissecting it, your whole world is going to be rocked. Everything that you believed, you're going to have to revisit. if you're honest with yourself. Now, again, there may be some that will continue to do this. This is how I was raised. I don't want to hear anything else. These folks are going to say that everything in this book is 100% correct. All scriptures are inspired of God and beneficial for teaching and reproving. How dare you question God's word? Okay, for those who feel that way, I know you know about the Apocrypha, and it's no longer in the Bible. Why was it taken out? Whose decision was it to take it out? And I understand there's even more books that were taken out. So how can you say that this is 100% correct when you already know that some of it is missing? And just the Apocrypha, and I've said this before again, just the Apocrypha, when you look at the Sumerian text and the writings, it sounds awfully familiar with the Apocrypha. Why is that? And then I've also discovered, I have mine, I'm getting ready to order it. It's called the Nag Hammadi Scriptures. And it fills in gaps of this beautifully. Again, I think, yes, there is some truth in here, in the Bible. But again, there's a lot of misinformation, and there's information in there, I think, that was deliberately put in there to keep us scattered and searching and confused. And all the different religions, Baptist, Catholic, Pentecostal, Buddhist, Taoism, all kinds of different religions, and they all have the truth. They all have the truth. And you have the Baptists and the Catholic, we're right, no, we're right. The Muslims and the Black Hebrew Israelites, we're right, no. Something is wrong, guys, don't you see it? And again, the Christ told us. He said, don't look for me anywhere because I'm here. Because I'm here. And you think about the different religions there. The Seventh-day Adventist, he's coming on the clouds. He's coming, and the Hebrew Israelites, he's coming, and the rapture is going to come, and all of this stuff. All I can say, guys, is my journey started because I was seeking the truth. And the deeper I go into this rabbit hole, I feel lighter and lighter and lighter, and less burdened down with a lot of the lies and misleading information I've been fed my entire life. We've all been fed our entire life. There is a huge awakening happening now. People who have never been interested in the Bible or religion or anything spiritual, all of a sudden, they're like, I got to do something. Because there is an awakening. We all have that Christ light within us. And we have been deliberately misled to look for it everywhere else. but within. So I encourage you guys to research, to check again. No matter how long you've been in your religion, how many generations it's been that way, how much you feel in your gut it's right. Ask yourself, have you checked everything that you believe and why? And does it check out to the best of your ability? Or are you simply going from what you hear that sounds great and you're just going to go with it because it's easy? I don't want easy. I want the truth, no matter what the cost. So again, those of you who are asking why I left the Jehovah's Witness religion, cult, faith, whatever you call it, because of false doctrine, lies, deceit, and they're not, I take this back. Maybe they are God's people. They're Jehovah's people. Do your research and you'll find out who Jehovah really is. According to the Sumerian text, I know this sounds crazy, but listen. According to the Sumerian text, Enki is a fallen angel. He and Enlil and others were sent down to watch over us that was created by the grand creator. They were sent down to watch over us, the watchers. The Aztecs and all these people of ancient times carving in the stones in the caves about the people, the light people that came from above, that came down. Can y'all explain that? Why would people back thousands and thousands of years have that kind of imagination to carve into stone spaceships? People with 6 toes and 6 fingers, giants that came from the sky with breathing apparatuses. What were they smoking to have that wild of imagination? I'm just saying, think about it. Think about it. And according to religious or the Bible, it says that mankind has only been here, 6,000 years? Come on. Come on. And I'm almost embarrassed I am embarrassed to say I believed it. I believed that. Until one day I decided to open a book. And one that did not come from jw.org. Now, I'm not saying all Jehovah's Witnesses are uneducated, because there are some that are educated. And that would have picked up on that right away. And again, there are some, we have doctors and attorneys and that are Jehovah's Witnesses and know better, but they're still in. I don't get that, but that's them. Anyway, let me get off here. I'm just kind of rambling on now. If you guys have any specific questions, I'll be glad to share that with you. But anyway, keep your head on straight. Keep looking up. Positive vibrations, love, and light always. Till next time, my light family. See ya.